Hello, sports fans. It's George with Custom Tie Flies and Guide Service. And we're going to do a tutorial on this CT blue crab. It's a juvenile blue crab that I throw at redfish that are up in the grass and, trout and flounder and, these guys that like to eat juvenile blue crabs up in the marsh areas, marsh creeks and stuff. So I'm just going to give this a spin. It's got a little weed guard on there. And, of course, I tie these in pieces for sturdiness. So the ingredients, the recipe is in the description. Excuse me. So I'm going to walk you through the different materials as I go along. But give me a second here and let me turn some lights on so I can see. Here we go. See, now I can see. Unfortunately, this light thing is a little, I don't know, difficult. So I have here in my vise a Mustad 7766 in a 1/0. Excuse me. So I'm going to get tied in. I'm using white Danville Flymaster flat waxed in 210 denier. And I'm using, for the weight, I'm using Hareline's unpainted lead eyes. So I take 5 one way, 5 the other, then 5 crosses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 5 this way. And 4 this way. When I was in Scouts, that was called wraps and fraps. All right. And like I said, I do these in pieces for strength. So I'm using, this is Color Craze, LA Colors fingernail polish. I get it at the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to do a base coat because I'm going to paint this again later. I'm going to set that off to the side to dry. Of course, I forgot to bend down that barb, but here, see, I bent down the barb on this one. All right, here we go. You get tied in there. And I'm going to turn this upside down. And then I got Rainey's Craft Fur. So I'm going to snip some off. I'm using long point scissors. These are Dr. Slick's. I'm going to pull out the under fur. Do that. And then that's the length that I want right there. Now, if you want, you can take this and you can put it off to the side, but I swear to you, it's more of a pain in the ass than what it's worth. On these Rainey's craft furs, these come in a 5x5 patch, and I chop them down to about 1/2 or 3/4 inch wide strips. They're easier for me to work with, and I get a better clip. So these that I'm pulling out, the shorties, I will save those because I use them for dubbing later down the road on other patterns. See, like here I have a bunch of tan stuff left over from those tan shrimp that I showed you before. All right, well, that's probably enough to do this. I'm just gonna check the tips here. All right. Now this is gonna go forward. And you want that beak to kind of stick out about half the shank length or so. And you're going to take a couple of loose wraps just to make sure that you're where you want to be. Okay, and then this you're going to bring up. And this is going to give you bulk right here in the middle. All right, then you're going to take a couple more snips. You're just going to separate these out, trying to get clumps like that. And then pull that first part through, and then move your fingers up. You got that second part, and that's what you're looking for. All right, and that's what's going on top right here. There you go. All right, next is your eyes. Now, your stalk eyes, mono stalk eyes, I have a tutorial that I put the link for the tutorial for the mono stalk eyes is in the description. But you see what they are. It's one piece of mono. It's got seed beads on the ends, and then it's covered in UV resin. So you're just going to snip that in half. And you see how this is curved, right? So you want that curved out part. And you're going to check that and make sure that that curved out part is right there where you want it. Okay. And then you got this stalk eye that's under the eyes here. That's okay. You're going to trim that off here in a second. Here's the other one. And that's, see how that's evened up with the And here's the other one down here. Maybe you can't see it. See it there? See it there? Okay. Don't worry that it's not cooperating just yet. Okay. I'm going to snip these with my old wire snipping scissors. All right. Now these. Just put your finger laid in there, and you're going to go 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a wrap, and that's going to push your eye out. Same thing with this other side. Get your thumb in there just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 wrap, and now your eyes are out. Okay? With any luck, we're going to run out of thread on this spool, and I'll be able to show you how to splice a spool. All right, there's your eyes. Now, next is your claws. So this is perfect hatch, Chinese neck, dyed in Silver Doctor. And you are looking for something down closer to the top of the head. Okay, because you got to remember, this is how it's on the chicken, right? It's a cape. So here's his neck, and this is his saddle, right? So you're looking for something not real wide at the tip, but there we go. There's 2 of them right there. That's what you're looking for, right there. And like I said, there's, well, I thought there was 2 of them. Guess not. You don't want it real wide, but you don't want it real narrow either. There we go. If you put it on there, it's real wide, it won't behave properly, and that's got a big hunk out of it, and you don't want that. That's the thing about these Chinese hackles. Sometimes they're not exactly the best quality. Sometimes they are. I mean, that's how some companies got their start, was with Chinese stuff, and that's just kind of where they've always been. So you want your claw to be about even with the end of this here. It's going to end up being the front of the crab. You know, so his eyes are there and his claws are there. See? Okay. And there's the other side. Oh, crap. Well, it's not quite. All right. I forgot about the little piece of flash that goes in there. That can go in there next. Okay, so there's the other claw. Trim those stems out. All right, the next bit is a little bit of flash. So, Krystal Flash-Rootbeer. That's Hareline's Krystal Flash. You're going to fold that. It takes 3 strands. You're going to fold them in half and then trim them. And you're going to fold them in half again, and they're going on your thread. About halfway up the body. That didn't come out right at all. There we go. All right. And then we're going to take this number 92 blue fingernail polish. And like I said, we're going to give that a second coat there. There's your second coat. All right, and that comes out and goes off to the drying rack. And that comes on for the next step. Okay, here comes the fun part. This next couple of pieces, this is EP brush. These are Minow head brushes, 1.5 inches. This one is sea blue. And it goes in the back. So you're just going to get tied back in. That's about to run out, so I think we are going to get a chance to learn how to splice. So here you're just going to take 2 turns. There's one. You're going to push those fibers back. All right. And there's 2. That's all you need. And you're going to bring the thread back. You're going to hold this up. Take 3 turns to secure. And you're going to take your old scissors in there and snip that off. You're going to take your brush. This is nothing more than a chamber brush. 38 caliber chamber brush. All right, next is your main body, and this is same thing. It's Minow head brush, 1.25 inches. Only this color is called Backcountry. And you're going to bring these forward, stroking the fibers back, but you don't want them, the wraps don't need to touch. You can put the wraps in like 1/8 inch or so spirals. Nobody's going to see the underside, because when it gets wet, all the fibers are going to go back towards the back. The fly is going to invert. Just keep stroking the fibers back. Keep them on that 1/8 spiral. And you get here behind the eyes. Then you stack them up a little bit right behind the eyes. Take that and snip it off. All right, we'll use that for the next one. Now here, see, my thread is done. All right. So I'm just going to take a couple of half hitches with my finger to kind of secure that. Now, ordinarily myself, I'd just snip that and pitch it, but I want to show you a splicing method. So I got my new spool of thread here. I'll put that in my bobber, or my bobbin. I like to try the rethread with a pull through first before I go to my bobbin threader. And sometimes that doesn't work, so I go to my bobbin threader. So I got this from Perfect Hatch, and at some point the wire broke from the top of the handle, so I just taped it on with packing tape and keep going. Sometimes that happens, you know. I mean, you got good quality stuff. It's a great company, but, you know, sometimes it happens. And instead of just throwing it out and getting a new one, just you fix it. So here, if you've ever tied a uni knot, that's what I'm going to use here, a uni knot. I'm just going to use one turn. Of course, there's other methods to splice, but I like this. This works well for me. Slide them together. Trim that off. Okay. There we go. All right, and that's that done. So this is where I'm going to do some trimming. So I'm just going to pull that fur out, brush it out with my boar brush. Okay, I got my long scissors again. I'm going to take an angle right from the eye, right up to the back of the bend, and snip it. All right, and that's the kind of angle that I'm looking for. So I don't want it real steep. I'm not trying to trim the crap out of it or anything, but I want it trimmed so that there we go. I want it trimmed so that when it's presented, because this is how it's going to present, I want it to look like a juvenile crab. So, you know, here's his claws and here's his eyes, and he's going to go through the water like this, right? So that's how I want him to present. So I'm going to sit him off to the side. I don't guess I really have to do that with this one, with that one, but I'm making the point here. Next is the weedless. Okay, so I'm using 50-pound mono as a weed guard. So I have taken 50-pound mono Omniflex and chopped it into like 3.5-inch bits. I just basically wrapped it around my hand and cut it. So it looks like this. All right. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to bend it in half. Just meet those two ends. And I'm going to crease it. I'm going to crease it good and hard. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down. Now, before I do, I'm going to make sure that this sucker is in here good and tight, because I had problems with slipping. Oh, see, I'm going to slip there. And I'm going to slip there. I'm going to slip there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I got my weed guard. I'm just going to put that point right below the eye like this. I'm going to leave some space. All right. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, real loose. All right. And then I'm going to get behind that and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, not real tight. Okay. And then I'm going to go in front of that all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that I got that in place, I can just pull it up. Okay. And then I'm going to go 5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go 5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go 5 in front. I'm going to go 5 behind. Okay, now that I got that, now I'm going to take my cheap scissors that I don't mind messing up, my wire scissors, and you see how you got the hook point comes down and kind of points at the eye like this, where the back of the hook, the bend of the hook is up in here, right? So I'm going to kind of make an angle or make a square out of where the back of the hook is and where the eye is. Okay. And that's where I'm going to trim those off. All right. Now, if they're too long, like these are, I can come back in here with a cutter in the back of the scissors and trim them down a little better. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to take like a figure eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go 5 behind and 5 in front. All right, and then I'm going to take my whip finisher and go 3 in front and 3 behind. And I can trim that off. And I can take my UV resin So you want to get, it's important that your UV light has the right curing frequency that's matched up with your resin. But by the same token, you got to give it, most resins say, you know, you need like 5 or 10 seconds or whatever to cure. So you keep your light, it's not like you can just zap it and, you know, 1, 2, 3, done. No. If your resin recommends 10 seconds of exposure, then you got to give it at least 10 seconds of exposure. Otherwise, it's going to come out tacky or, you know, whatever. Okay? You just kind of feel that. Yep, it's good to go. Now, last step. I'm going to take my LA colors and I'm going to paint that. I'm going to paint that. See, there you go. And there you have it. The custom tied blue crab. Hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can find this and other super-de-duper patterns for saltwater and freshwater, trout and bass and bluegills and whatever else, all on custom-tide.com. That's www.custom-tied.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. This is George with Custom Tide Flies and Guide Service. Happy tying.